Hello, I'm Erik. I've invited my friends Greg Talley and Ryan Smith to join me in ingesting fun and bizarre foods. We'd like you to join us too. So come in and open up. It's Junkmouth.
Hi, I'm Erik.
Hey, I'm Greg.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Big peckish welcome to our listeners joining us in the Roof Lizard Lounge.
Wait, so whoa. Hold, back up. Peckish?
Yeah, hungry, you know?
I know what it means, but it's just, that was weird, man.
That was totally
deeply
weird.
Uncomfortable.
This whole podcast has gotten off to a terrible start, and you're a bad human being for saying peckish.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the phrase in the right, context. If a British person says, hey, I'm a bit peckish, let's eat lunch, fine. But a big peckish welcome? Oh, fuck you,
It's
man.
a food podcast. People should be hungry.
I sort of was until you said that. Now I'm just sort of sad and confused.
Well, take it from the top. We'll give you another chance.
Well,
I'm not editing this out.
I didn't say we were editing it out.
yeah, he's making me redo it because he's unhappy. I mean, what kind of welcome would you give people?
How about just welcome to the podcast?
How about a nice friendly welcome to our listeners joining us in the Roof Lizard Lounge, high atop the Dino Hotel in picturesque Lakewood, Colorado, above our restaurant Paleo Joe's, and just minutes from Denver and the Rocky Mountains. Does that work for you?
That works.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Sort of back on track now.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our lunch swap now before I get harassed even further just because I'm hungry. So, Greg, what did you bring in your lunch today?
Well, since my Mumbai tiffin was recently purloined by certain people at this table,
I'm not admitting to anything. It's not an admission of guilt.
I had to switch to my rustic Parisian picnic basket, in which I have 3 terrines.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, in my first terrine, my delectable hors d'oeuvre of pork rillettes was made with pygmy hog, served on a bread infused with dog ear from the finest truffle-hunting German hounds, and topped with...
Dogs don't hunt truffles.
Yes, they do.
I thought it was pigs.
Pigs and dogs, and
okay.
pig dogs,
I
you
stand corrected.
Schweinhund. But it was topped with decapon slices from the garden of the Japanese emperor himself. And in the second terrine is a cassoulet au canard made from moulard duck stolen from a Belgian zoo, where the young children will now have one less exhibit to bring them joy. And don't worry, I'm planning on how to take down the rest for my culinary pleasure. And the third terrine contains a cherry clafoutis. So it's delicious, it's terrine, it's sinful. I am wallowing in it in my decadence.
Back to normal. Okay. Let me open my lunchbox here. It's my Woody Woodpecker lunchbox today. Looks like I've got a cold slice of pepperoni pizza. A thermos with banana quick. And for dessert, it looks like I've got a ho-ho. So, Ryan, what have you gotten at that?
In this empty condom wrapper, I've got half a mint.
Was it half a mint when you started with it, or was it a full mint?
I'd rather not say.
I would rather you not say on second thought, too.
Yeah, I really don't want to know how you got that. All right, well, let's welcome everybody to, this is our H-Mart special episode of Junkmouth. We are the second podcast here, joining the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Revival League to form the Dino Hotel Entertainment Network of America, or DINA. Now, if masticating on this show makes you want to spit something up at us, which...
Please find a different way to say that.
I like it. It stays.
It's good, yeah. Because that's how we have a future audience regurgitation segment. It all works. It's a food theme.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Come on, buds. Chew your cud.
Oh,
Share us
Jesus.
your ideas.
That's right. And you can share those ideas through email at junkmouthpodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/junkmouth. And I also understand we have in the works a third show to join us.
Yeah, we've got a new show we think is probably going to start around middle of summer, I guess. And that's basically a show about alcohol slowly poisoning oneself with alcohol. So
Poisoning you on this show wasn't enough.
what?
Wasn't that what we're doing? Slowly poisoning Ryan by feeding him.
It's the only oisen pay.
Oh! I'm sorry. Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. You heard nothing.
Okay. But yeah, it's Greg's excuse to drink, and he's going to justify it by saying that it has something to do with, like, geeky fan communities. So that's it.
All right. Before we dig into our first course, then, we need to sing for our supper. So load up that reel-to-reel with the sweet Kevin Murphy jingle.
All right, Kevin Murphy, roll the tape.
The next time you travel to Denver, make your journey into one that you'll remember. Don't just sit around and wish when you can have an expedition at the Dino Hotel. Stretch, snarl, growl.
Thank you, Kevin Murphy. All right, let's lay out our ground rules before we start eating. So we're looking for items that are not nationally distributed in the United States. We also want things that are unique, not just a regional food or a local brand, right? Each week we want our foods to fit a theme. This week, everything we have is from H-Mart. I'll explain that a little bit in a moment. And number 4, these guys twisted my arm. They said there are things that they won't eat. So we've put in a pass card every week. We can miss out on one food. You can skip, take a pass.
I think we've only used...
We've each used one.
Each used one so far, yeah. So.
Yeah, I know. And
Sounds about right.
And they were for exceptionally vile things, I gotta say.
yes, they were. I refused to drink pirate piss, as I recall.
Yeah.
But, I think Greg had been harassing me a little bit about, we need to put something more to these points. And wasn't there something about that, Greg?
I think we need to have some sort of, no pun intended, tally at the end of the season.
No pun really accomplished.
Exactly. But we need to add up and see who tried the most foods and therefore who won by being the tastiest at the end of some designated round.
Well, I don't know if you could really call the person who subjected themselves to the most of these a winner.
I would think so.
Well, you know what?
No.
I think we should put something on the line for this then.
No.
No?
No, hard no. Nope. I'm not putting anything on the line. I'm not going to agree to run naked through them all singing like me and Bobby McGee or something if I lose. No, hard no.
I thought we don't need to go that big. I just thought, I see you're always wearing a Superman t-shirt, right? You always see Greg in a Hawaiian shirt. I tend to have some kind of geeky shirt on all the time. I'm wearing a Doctor Who shirt right now. Why not do a competition and whoever wins, the other two have to buy him a t-shirt?
I could get behind that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Let me get him a shirt. Okay. Maybe we can let's figure out the episode. Well, you could hit a future episode and tally some things up. Maybe have a couple challenges and
yeah. I mean, this is really something we should have discussed offline. Right now, we're actually doing logistics for show planning on the air, which is incredibly unprofessional.
Well, whoever said we were professional?
We're just proving it day by day, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. This is just. I wouldn't listen to this, and I make it.
So this week we're eating foods that were all purchased at a place called H-Mart. H-Mart, if you aren't aware, is an Asian grocery store. So these particular foods are some of the more unique things that I feel represent the kind of stuff you can get at H-Mart that you're not going to find at your local grocery store. So really tried to pick out some of the more unique things. So why don't we pass that bag over to Ryan here and let him describe what we're eating today.
Okay. Today we are... Oh, fuck you. We are eating shrimp snacks, cheese-flavored shrimp snacks. These look...
this T-shirt is as good as mine.
Made with real shrimp. These look like a combination sort of between potato chips and pork rinds, I would say. There's some sort of deep-fried, puffy potato chip-like thing, except they're made with shrimp and flavored with cheese. Let me see what the back of this thing says. A genuinely delightful snack with snack capitalized, which is not correct. Light crispy chips, light spelled L-I-T-E, which is not correct. Made with real shrimp. Shrimp snacks taste great by themselves or with your favorite chip dip, which I doubt. Perfect as a snack or an appetizer at lunchtime. Hey, before I get that hamburger out, could you bring me a bag of cold shrimp parts? Parties, picnic with beverages. Or with soup or chowders and salads. It's available in 5 terrific, and terrific is not even in scare quotes, flavors. Original, onion and garlic, barbecue, sour cream and onion, and cheese.
Yeah.
So it's made with tapioca flour, shrimp. Shrimp is the second thing. Eggs. Oh, yeah, this is just looking great.
Are you going to pass on it, Ryan, so I can get that T-shirt?
No, I'm going to take I'm gonna try it. So,
all right, everybody, grab a handful of the shrimpy snackies.
Yeah.
Oh, just one? You wimps! I'm grabbing a handful.
There we go. I'll get
there you go. That's what it takes.
I'll take a handful if it's it takes one. I'll take a handful if they're good.
All right.
Yeah. I'll say these are normally will be called generically a prawn chip. They use all kinds of different
prawn. I'm sure you mean.
It would be prawn. This is what you get when you read your notes exactly as you type them. And,
tell me about it all the time.
Yep. All right.
Enough gibbity gab. Let's try them.
Let's try them.
Let's talk about they look almost like styrofoam.
Yeah, that's the way shrimp chips are. But I'm hungry. I want to try one.
All right, let's go.
All right.
That's good.
Surprisingly not bad.
Very tasty.
There's not a lot of. It sort of dissolves in your mouth pretty quick, though. There's not a lot of there.
There's a lot of air inside of them. And
when you go to
almost like cotton candy with the level of how fast it dissolves.
In that sense, but they also have a crunchiness to them at
Yeah,
the
they
same
do.
time, which is really nice.
They're not bad.
Have a very good
I'm
texture to
surprised.
them.
I am surprised. They're not bad.
I'm not, because I've had shrimp toast before, and I figured it'd be similar.
No.
Shrimp toast is very light, very fluffy, but fried shrimp like this, it's a winner.
Oh, delicious! I actually figured these would be better than they sounded, but I am surprised at how good they really are.
They are not bad. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say 4.
I'll
give them a 4. 4 greasy wrappers.
go 4.5.
I can see snacking on these.
This doesn't quite hit the so delectable. I would just
No.
praise them out, but pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And imaginary extra points for the bag from Golden Pacific Foods, saying, "Don't be litter bug. Keep America beautiful."
Obviously,
I forgot an article.
Obviously, for our market, and obviously English is a second language. But you know what?
I
I've
appreciate the
seen far
sentiment.
worse. I've seen far worse. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a Marco Polo brand, I guess, commemorating the famous exploits of Marco Polo, wherein he brought shrimp chips back from China to Italy.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was apparently the big
in the
thing.
original bag.
But yeah, I'm 4. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they
4.
are as good as they were.
Yeah, I would have.
I expected them to taste sort of fishy or something, but no, they're pretty good.
I really love the crunch that you get and how the texture you get in your mouth from them. That I really didn't think they'd be that.
No,
Nice.
I didn't think they'd be vile, but I didn't think they'd be that good.
Yeah.
No,
So go on, get some prawn chips because they're good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm feeling so good. I think I need to move on and accentuate the positive. And this is where I highlight one of the many joys in life that just make it great to be alive. And so this week, I want to talk about one of the most overlooked inventions that I think we have in all time, the nail. Right?
Okay.
I'm
listening.
Yeah. So, we have used nails as our primary method of construction as human beings for thousands of years. They have found bronze nails in Egypt dated back to around 3400 BC.
Really? You wouldn't think bronze would stand up to a lot as a nail, just because of the softness of the metal.
Well, I'm sure those ones didn't hold up like a modern nail.
Yeah.
These are just the oldest ones when it was,
These aren't
obviously-
things used to build houses, most likely.
Yeah, and obviously the technology's evolved.
Yeah.
And you know how you can get things that they'll be called like a 10 penny nail or
Yeah.
a 20 penny nail. Well, that actually comes from medieval England, where they would price nails by how much did it cost for 100 nails. So
Oh,
a
okay.
10 penny nails was 100 nails cost 10 pennies, right?
Wow,
And-
that's really expensive for medieval England.
And it is very expensive in medieval England, but that's how valuable nails were. That's people.
Well, I guess so, because they were hand forging them one at a time. 100 nails would take a hell of a lot of labor.
It absolutely. And nails got really difficult to obtain from outside sources in the American colonies when our country started. So it was really common for families to set up nail manufacturing in their homes by their fireplace. And so when they were at night or if they were inside due to bad weather, your entire family would be sitting around making nails because that was the best way to make money.
Huh.
Yeah. And there have even been times in history those nails are so valuable. When people have had old, dilapidated buildings, they would burn them down to be able to collect the nails.
Oh, wow. So they were like getting rid of the house anyway, so they'd burn it down
Right.
so they could get the nails either to use again or to sell.
Sometimes they get grandma out of it beforehand.
Yeah. When we're accentuating the positive, grandma's out beforehand.
Well, that depends on grandma.
Well, maybe. So until around 1800, all these nails were hand forged
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
But nowadays we definitely have increased nail technology where the first thing that came about were called cut nails, which were really the start of the Industrial Revolution, where they take a square stock and have a machine cut the nail and press ahead
Yeah.
for the nail. Started mass manufacturing was one of the really early things from the Industrial Revolution. So if you like having industry, I know that there might be some debates there, but there definitely were at least some good things that came out of it.
Well, I mean,
Nails are a
all
big
good
part of
things about modern life basically came
Yeah,
out of the Industrial
yes.
Revolution. If a few orphans have to die of black lung, well,
And then, of course, nowadays what we have are called wire nails, where we have a round wire that gets hit by a press to shape it into the nail,
Yeah.
forming the point and everything. And we've seen lots of new advances now on our nails, where they apply coatings and rings and twists that increase holding power
Yeah.
and corrosion resistance. So, absolutely overlooked by a lot of people. You think nails are just so common we don't think about them,
Yeah.
but have been a major thing for human history.
that's fascinating. I had no idea that they were so valuable that people would actually set up little home foundries. That's something else.
or that they dated back so far into the Bronze Age.
Yeah, because I didn't realize. I thought of it
absolutely.
as more of a medieval thing because of the fact that, I mean, in Europe, people were holding stuff together with wooden pegs forever. So
Even Thomas Jefferson was even known for having one of the things, if you read on his history, he actually had one of those home foundries.
Huh.
It's one of the things he did on his farm. So.
I doubt that was one of the things he did at his farm, let's be honest.
No,
Maybe in his younger days.
I have
no, he had slaves
Yes.
for that.
Yeah.
He had slaves doing that at his farm.
While he was doing all his taxonomic
Well, let's
research
put it this way.
and rarefied scientific work, he had slave labor.
Thomas Jefferson's earliest memory, he wrote about this, his earliest memory was being carried on a pillow by a slave. This is not a man who did his own manual labor.
No.
Okay.
So,
Maybe true.
I mean, he was a genius. He was also an asshole. It's one of those things you just sort of have to rectify in your mind. You just sort of have to make your peace with the fact that a lot of the founding fathers had some deep and terrible flaws. And
Yeah, my interests tend to lie more on the technology, so I had not known the history side of this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's very interesting. All right. Well, you know what, Ryan, why don't we go ahead and let you talk about what you want to do? What do you want to talk about with your Ryan's Reality Check?
okay, well, since this is where I can just talk about whatever's on my mind at the time, I thought we'd have a conversation today about whether it's really so bad to share dick pics.
Yes, it is. Do not
Whoa,
do it.
hey, no.
All right. People who socialize at work. Here's the thing. I don't really give a shit about what your kid's doing or the funny thing your husband did. I just want to get my shit done so I can go home. No, I don't want to go to lunch with you and the guys from accounting. I don't give a fuck about the guys from accounting. I'm here to work. I don't want to go after work to talk to have a beer. You know why I work? It's to make money so I can do things that I enjoy at home.
Hey, Ryan, we're technically working right now.
Yeah, I know. I feel every minute of it.
Can I share something that my kids are doing?
I don't give a fuck, Greg.
It might be for your own personal welfare and safety.
Well, unless Joe has finally built that laser and he's planning to test it on me, I doubt it.
Well, I just was, while we're doing the podcast, the ex just texted me pictures of both of my children taking turns behind the wheels of her truck.
Oh, wow.
So they are both they got their written permits last weekend and passed with flying colors. So now they're actually practicing being behind hurtling multi-ton metal and plastic death machines, and they will be headed in your direction soon.
Oh, I'll make sure to stay on the other side of town.
Well, I mean, we're socializing right now, and I'm sharing kid stuff with you, but I also figure it's a public service.
Yeah, well, that's different. I mean, if you've got to come up and say, hey, you know, my kids were exposed to the Ebola virus, so just be careful. Yeah, fine. If you've got something you need me to know about, fine. But look, I don't want to participate in your goddamn Secret Santa thing. I don't know you well enough to buy you a good present for under $20. And frankly, I find it offensive that you ask me to spend even more money on Christmas. Fuck you.
What? But there's team building. It's been shown. Studies have shown.
I don't need to build a
have
team.
A little bit of socialization.
I don't need to build a team. I need to get my work done and go home. Ryan out.
Well, guess he's not a team player.
Fuck off.
He's definitely not a team player. You're just now figuring this out? Oh, my God.
Wow. I kind of felt that way, but he just made it really clear. There's no doubts anymore.
Well, no, there were no doubts to begin with. He's highly productive, but he's also high on the fuck-offery level, too.
You know why I'm highly productive? Because I don't fuck around at work.
Yeah, you do have a point in that Americans have blended work and socializing to the point where you end up, doing neither well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Look, nobody really minds, having a friendly conversation at work. I think that's important. I don't think you should be a wage slave who just sits drearily at your desk talking to nobody. But it's this enforced team building stuff about, hey, we're all going out for a beer afterward, and if you don't go, you're considered somehow a spoil sport or something. It's like, well, look, I come to work for a paycheck. I go home from work to do the things I like. What I like is not extending the workday for 3 hours, only now it's in a bar.
Aren't you glad, though, we're not Japanese salarymen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, with the Japanese salaryman, you're expected to, cat around, have multiple mistresses. You're supposed to stay and drink and be as foolish as possible and stay out until the wee hours and just basically become an alcoholic asshole.
Well, that's the thing I don't like. I don't like having... I've had a few bosses that I don't mind having beers with. I think everybody's had a few bosses who are cool people that you don't mind having a few beers with. But I don't like being expected. There should not be an element of your job where you are expected to socialize after work hours, and if you don't, you're somehow a bad employee. No, it's that some of us have families or other plans that we would actually like to see our families or pursue our other plans. Work should not be your life. Work should be what you do in order to finance your life.
I think if you make that distinction where it's whether or not it's an expectation,
yeah,
then
exactly.
I absolutely agree. It should not be expected.
And I've had jobs, and I have known people who have had jobs where it's an expectation where showing up at some cocktail party is expected of you. It is, they can't legally, I guess, require it, but they make it very clear you'd better be there. And, I've always been the sort of person who I push back against that because it's not my job to socialize after hours. As I said, my job exists. I have a job so I can make enough money to finance the part of my life that's actually living, I strongly object to the enforced socialization of work.
Well, I think what our audience doesn't know right now is that this room's getting a little warm. We have an unusually warm spring day we're recording during.
It really is, yeah.
And we're talking a bunch, and it's making me thirsty.
Yeah, and there's also a skylight right above us that's acting like a magnifying glass.
Yeah,
Just really focusing the heat right onto our heads.
I think we need to move on to our drink segment and address this issue.
Yeah.
So,
is it time to have something cool and refreshing?
You've got the ice bucket right there.
Ice bucket stands by me, and let's see. Oh, these are good and cold. It looks like Soy Bean Drink by Honeybee. What?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This looks simply awful. All right, what country is this from, Eric?
As it says right on the can, product of Taiwan.
Product of Taiwan. So it's got a little honeybee on it, and it's covered up in raw soya beans bouncing around on a green field.
Yes, because raw soybeans, that's what you look at when you think, boy, I could use a crisp, refreshing beverage.
Well,
here's a picture of raw soybeans, which look like elf testicles, let's be honest.
I would say, I mean, we've had a couple of drinks here recently that were full of all kinds of preservatives.
Yeah, that's
things like
true.
That. This, water, natural extract of soybean, and sugar. That's it.
Okay.
So it's natural. It should be, not full of all that crap and hopefully taste a little better.
All right, well, let's open it up. How carbonated is it?
I don't think it is.
Not carbonated at all.
No. Nope.
Oh, my God. That smells awful.
That's bad.
That smells like cat food.
Okay, well, let's get this over with.
Yeah.
That totally
all right.
smells like cat
Bottoms
food.
up, guys.
Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Holy shit!
Oh, my God.
Damn you to hell, Eric!
Oh, my God.
I am so sorry. Oh, that is bad. Wow.
It's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
Yes, it is.
It's bad.
No, it tastes like soy milk.
It is like drinking the nightmares of abused children.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you through your screams, Ryan. Come back over here and share.
I'm not getting anywhere near you, assholes. You did this to me.
I'm along for the ride. Okay, all right. Here's my impression. If do we have our first vomit? Close to
I
it.
deserve extra credit for doing that.
Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
Use the ice bucket if you're retching. Oh my God.
Holy shit.
All
May
right.
you rot in hell, Eric.
I think I deserve it. I tasted that too.
Honeybee.
It was not good.
Honeybee, soya beans. All right, here's where the flavor is. It smells like dog food.
It looks like watery semen. I don't know how else to describe it. I know that's an unpleasant way to describe it, but it's accurate, would you say?
Yeah, it's perfectly accurate.
That's it. It looks like
That's
jizz.
exactly what it looks like.
It looks like chalky water. Now, the flavor-wise, if you've ever had soy milk, it is somewhere between soy milk and edamame in flavor.
No.
It's got sort of the green, earthy flavor of edamame.
Okay, flavor-wise, if you've ever had an appendectomy without anesthesia performed by Wolverine, that's what this tastes like.
It's awful, but it's not run screaming around the room awful.
Yes, it is.
It's all right. So if you've had soy milk, and then it sat in the refrigerator and gone bad on you, you could, if you took that then soy milk that's turned bad and dumped in a crap ton of sugar, then you'd have this drink.
This is wretched. I have to say, and it saddens me to say this, that this isn't the worst thing we've had on this show, but it is wretched. 0. If there were a way to give it a negative, I'd give it a negative. This is like I don't know how to describe it. It's ineffably bad.
What if we had that's worse than this?
That beef yogurt was pretty fucking awful.
Yeah, the beef yogurt dessert was right up there.
I mean, for one thing, beef yogurt sounds like a euphemism for some horrible sex act. So right there, it was also the color of cold bile and tasted about as good. But
well, between our two podcasts, between the Revival League and between Junkmouth, we have tried in excess of probably 80 drinks at this point.
oh yeah, at least
So, it's up there because we've done some mega
probably
soda
close to
tastings.
100. Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I have never seen Ryan nearly vomit. We've tried some really fucking horrible drinks before. This is the first one where he was hunched over and he nearly lost it.
You couldn't see. I took a sip, ripped my headphones off, and stalked to the corner. I mean, that's how terrible this shit was. I had to leave the microphone, which is why if my voice isn't coming in clearly in this podcast for portions of it, it was because I was over in the corner cursing Erik's name and indeed his ancestors.
And trying not to rush.
I blame not only Erik, I blame his parents for meeting and producing him. I mean...
Well, I gotta... Okay.
This brings shame upon your ancestors, Erik.
I don't have a ton of hyperbole for this. It is not good. I'm not saying it is a good soda. I don't have a visceral reaction to it like Ryan does because it just tastes like...
This is like chilled Hitler jizz.
It tastes like watery soybean soy milk. I mean, and that's probably what it is. I don't think this is a mixer. I don't think there's anything redemptive about this.
No.
I think this is a pour down the sink, but I actually took 4 sips, big sips, just to be absolutely certain. And I'm glad it's chilled because I think this probably would be vomit-inducing if you drink it.
Oh, yeah, I would have thrown up all over immediately had this been warm. Oh, God.
I would have been borderline on throwing up if this was warm. I've got a really strong stomach.
So do I. I don't gag easily, really, as far as just... I mean, there are some things that I just sort of like, to get the taste out, but I don't throw up easily. And I think it would have been immediate had this been warm. This is shit. This is awful.
I'm amazed that there are people in the world who actually drink this enough that it has been imported to this country so that people can get a hold of it.
Well, it makes me wonder how different a food culture thing is this,
It very well could be a food culture thing.
Asians think we're disgusting for eating milk products. We think the Australians and the Brits are disgusting for doing Vegemite and Marmite.
Yeah.
They look at us askance for doing stuff like root beer, and find it to be sickly sweet and vile. If the Asians have a strong affinity for soy flavors, then maybe this is delicious and wonderful.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, my brother, when he moved to New Zealand and Australia, the first time he had Vegemite, he described it as being punched in the tongue by the devil. And now he spreads it so thickly on his toast in the morning that his New Zealander wife says, that's way too much. So I mean, it is something that being immersed in the culture could probably change your opinion about if you'd been raised with it. But just from this tastes like soured soy milk and shattered dreams. This tastes like the death of hope. Okay, I drink this and I realize that not only will I die alone, but I will die alone and disappointed.
But at least you won't die alone drinking this.
No. If I had any more, I might die right here.
When you're on your deathbed and you think back and you think, I won't have to drink any more of that honeybee soya bean drink, you'll actually die with a smile on your face, Ryan.
Yeah. It could be worse. That could have been my final drink.
This is very true.
Oh, Jesus.
It's actually got my stomach a little upset.
It's
and I
bad.
had one sip.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I mean,
No, I'm saying my one sip, stomach's queasy.
I had 4 sips. I don't like it, but I'm not, just viscerally, queasily affected by it. The way Ryan and Erik are. Now, I mean, I've had some really bad drinks on this podcast, and this is right up there.
It is right up there.
But at least, I got to say this, at least there's no aftertaste.
That's true.
I mean, like some of the very chemical stuff, like the Lester and Melba's Fixins.
Yeah, I have to say that those are worse because they stick with you not just for a few minutes, but for hours.
Hours, yeah.
Yeah, which. So, you know what? Ryan obviously gave this a 0. We need to give it some rankings, Greg. I'm going to give it half a greasy wrapper simply from the fact that, it fades away. And even as we're talking here, I can feel my stomach starting to settle. So it's not something that's going to ruin my entire day.
Yeah.
Just 15 minutes of my life snatched away and made miserable.
I'm wondering if your can's spoiled, because mine was okay. I'm actually going to take a sip of Erik's just to see.
Good God.
No, it's the same drink. It's not. There's no.
There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, very wrong.
No. I mean, when I lived in Boulder, this says a lot. But when I lived in Boulder, I spent a couple of years eating cereal with soy milk, so I'm not that strongly affected. And it wasn't good with everything, but it was good on like frosted mini wheats.
Fuck this drink.
It's not good, but I wonder if there's in my jaded Western palate, if there's something lost in translation. So I'm going to give it a 2, which is still a negative review or a low review. But that's leaning upwards because I'm compensating for just the idea that this is not a Western.
Well, let's point this out. Yeah, I mean, it could just be this is a food culture thing where if you're raised with it, you think it's great. Where if you, as you said, the Japanese think we're crazy for eating so much cheese and milk that's disgusting to them because they're not raised with it. Europeans hate root beer because they're not raised with it. So I understand that. This is in no way a value judgment on the culture the food comes from at all. I understand that if I had been raised with it, I might love it. As it stands, fuck this soda.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck it with all the fucks.
And with that being said, let's get our mind onto something.
That's
better.
why Buddhist monks are celibate in Japan. They have given all their fucks to fuck this soda.
That might be. I want to quit thinking about this awful soda.
Yes.
And I think the guy who's the least traumatized should then tell us a story to get our mind off of it. Greg?
Well, yeah. Greg's Tales of the Stupid. I don't think it can get much stupider than us drinking this soda.
Yeah,
but I will venture to talk about something. H-Mart I've never been to, but I've been to other Asian markets. I'm assuming there's some parallel between them. So I wanted to pick a food that translates well across the Pacific Rim. And I was going to go with kaiju blood, but then I decided to talk about coffee cultures. Now, I don't know. I haven't actually been anywhere in Asia, but I have been to the different restaurants and grocery stores and places where.
Oh, that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
I was being sarcastic, asshole.
It's a pear facsimile, a pale facsimile thereof. That's what I was trying to say. But it's interesting how different coffee is in different countries from around Asia. Have you ever had a Hong Kong coffee? Like been in L.A. and tried a Hong Kong coffee?
No, I don't think I have. I love different coffees. So.
Well, that one starts out with just a standard. I've had it 5 or 6 times when I was in South L.A. and it's a condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, with just American sort of brown wash diner coffee over the top. And, so the sweetened milk makes it creamy and sweet. And that's okay, but it's nothing like what the Vietnamese do. Where if you've ever had
those are good.
The Vietnamese drip coffees where they give you the glass mug. I mean, some people prefer it iced. No way. It's got to be hot or nothing. Where they give you the glass cup and they put the sweetened condensed milk in the bottom, and then they put the little slow drip metal apparatus on top and then pour in the hot water. And you have to sit there, and it teaches you patience because you have to wait for the entire little pot to brew into the cup, and then you stir it with the condensed milk. And that is a thick French-style coffee. So it's similar to the Hong Kong, but the Hong Kong is kind of Americanized. The Vietnamese coffee is definitely dark roast.
Well, see, I really prefer black coffees. I don't like milk or sugar or anything like that in them. I'm a big fan of, say, Turkish or Cuban coffee, which is, you drink that black and it's very, very strong. So.
Well, have you ever had a Vietnamese coffee?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's worth a try. It's worth a try.
Oh, I'll give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely great. Now, me personally, I drink most of my coffee black, and something has to be, to me, very exceptional to get me to put anything into my coffee. And there's really, we tried previously on this show, we had that Piquant Mocha. That's one.
That's good.
That is totally worth having not black coffee.
Yeah.
That was delicious. And I would say right up there, pretty close to that, is a good Vietnamese coffee.
Oh, well, I'll have to give that a try if I get a chance.
That's how much I like it.
And then if you go over to Thai culture, their coffee, I think, is actually quite disgusting. The Thai culture bases their coffees on powdered instant coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you don't, if you've had a Vietnamese coffee experience, it's sublime, and then you go get an iced Thai coffee and it's gritty and weird, and but that's just how they drink it.
Yeah.
And
well.
This is largely, throughout the Pacific Rim, it's more of a tea culture than a coffee culture.
Yeah.
But, this is just one of dozens of variations of country by country. I just wanted to bring up 3 of the ones that I've tried that are quite good. So
yeah, and the Thai, I get that with the Thai. Have you had the Thai iced teas?
yes.
Those are delicious.
No, it's
At least if done well.
Greg just hates Thailand.
I have no opinion about Thailand, at least not a negative one. I just do not care for
His time being a bar hostess in Thailand really soured him on the whole country.
It did, but it was mostly the Westerners who came in and the things they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in therapy for that. Thank you for dredging up the painful memories, Ryan.
Well, you're the one who actually made the choice. You talked to me about how much you were looking forward to it.
Well, when in Bangkok.
You lasted a week.
Yeah, when in Bangkok. No, but there are different coffee cultures around the Pacific Rim, and these are 3 of the ones that I've tried. I feel like I'm padding out a book report at this point, but
Yeah, I'm wondering when you're going to stop talking. It stopped being interesting about 10 minutes ago.
As I said, you were in Hawaii. What about the Hawaiian coffee?
Hawaiian coffee is American coffee.
Yeah.
Far more interesting. Other than what am I saying? Kona and and Maui and all of the really strong roasted coffees, but they're done in similar styles the way you drink any coffee in America. Ryan, you've been to New Zealand. You've been to an incredible coffee culture.
Oh yeah. American coffee is like garbage water compared to New Zealand coffee. Just like a black coffee in New Zealand is sublime compared to anything you'd get in America. When I was there, I saw Starbucks up all over the place, and my brother's like, yeah, they're basically for tourists. New Zealanders just sort of laugh at the coffee you get at Starbucks. It's just for these Americans who come in expecting a Starbucks. But New Zealand coffee is sublime, absolutely sublime. I've never captured anything quite like it again in any coffee I've had.
Well, that's our Tales from the Stupid. It's just a little stupid chit-chat about coffee, and hopefully that takes some of the horrible flavor of the soya beans out of our mouth.
Yeah,
Why did you have to remind us?
Yeah, at the very... Oh, God, I'm looking. There's that milky...
I want to punch the little bee on the...
Oh, it looks gross. There's just this milky...
All right, let's move on and be merry. And we could really use this, and to get that out of our head, let's move on to something that I actually think should be a highlight for this episode. I certainly hope so. We're going to have Pocky.
Oh, Pocky, this is going to be good.
Yeah. Now, I will say this is the, what we've got here is the matcha green tea Pocky. I would actually call the milk chocolate version, I would say it's approaching being widely distributed.
Yeah,
now.
I've had chocolate Pocky.
They've become pretty common, but there are a huge variety of flavors available of these now, especially if you get over into Asia. They're most popular in Japan, but they're actually made in, these are made in Thailand.
I got to say I'm already a little suspicious of this because when I smell it, I smell the soya bean drink. It smells...
It smells sweet to me.
It
Does smell
eerily...
It smells
minty.
sweet. You get the sugar connection, which I think is what reminds you of the soya bean. But I also I definitely smell the matcha in there.
Minty smell to it.
Which is, it just on the off chance somebody still is ignorant about what matcha is. It's a powdered green tea that comes from Japan, used in a lot of their tea ceremonies, really popular. So, What do you
So
think?
let's bastardize the sacred tea ceremony by coating a stick of candy in it.
Well, it's only the sacred thing when it goes through the whole ceremony and everything like that. They're
So
allowed
are we
to have
going to
matcha
do a
other
sacred
things,
Pocky ceremony? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
A sacred
you want to be
ceremony
insulting.
with a sacred ceremony with the green tea cream covered biscuit stick.
Yeah, that wouldn't be at all insulting.
All right. Well, I guess let's try these. See what we
Okay.
Quite nice. Not perfect, amazing, but quite nice. You definitely get the green tea.
There's a little bit of a bitter undertaste to it. I'm not wild out.
Yeah, it's got. Well, I think that's the tea, and some of that might be. I mean, do you like matcha? So I think that definitely comes through. But then there's kind of
I think
a.
green tea works better as a drink than a candy.
There's kind of a. I don't know if it's a white chocolate or yogurt candy, somewhere in that range flavor underneath that, and then
I gotta say, I had an allergic reaction to that, and my throat immediately closed.
Okay, well, that's
quit
not
eating it.
good.
No, I don't know what it is in the Pocky, if it's the green tea or not, but my throat clenched shut.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I have a drink here, and I just had to drink it down, but I will not be taking it.
Yeah, because epinephrine in a drink, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
of course.
No, it was just my throat immediately clenched shut trying that.
Yeah. Well, you did try it, so that didn't count as a card.
No,
You just nearly died.
I didn't nearly die. It just nearly made me choke and sputter.
So Greg, Erik, and Ryan risking our lives to bring you the entertainment of Junkmouth.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this, I gotta say. I like some Pocky, but that green tea, it's sort of got a bitter undertaste to it that, like I said, I think this works better as a hot drink than a candy.
I actually am fairly fond of this. It's not. I mean, this isn't absolutely amazing, but
It starts out okay, but that bitterness just gets to you.
Well,
to me.
and, like,
to me.
I tend to like. I like green tea. I drink it without. I don't put anything in. I don't sweeten my tea, anything like that. So I think this comes across a lot. You know, it's like a strong matcha tea. Like if you make it really thick, that's kind of the tea flavor you get with it, with some sweetness in whatever they use to make it candy wise.
Yeah, I'm just it's not terrible, but
I would probably agree. You know, I mean, to me, a really good matcha is probably like a 4.5, 5 range beverage. To me, I really like it. This doesn't rank as high as a good cup of just matcha tea would, so I can agree with you. It's not as good as that, but I'm going to give this 3.5 greasy wrappers.
I'm gonna go with maybe 3. I mean, it's
Oh, okay.
It's not vile. It's not bad. I'm just not a big fan of the bitter undertaste. It's not anywhere near as bad as that fucking drink.
My lips are numb and my throat is still quite closed. I've got to give this a 0 because if it's trying to kill me, it's got to be pretty low.
Are you sure you don't need medical attention, man?
We'll find out in a few. I might need some Benadryl, but I have never experienced an allergic reaction to a food like this before.
Well, yeah. Well, let's get it away from you.
Yeah.
Eric, grab
Yeah.
that. Don't touch it, Greg.
I'm not touching it. It's wrapped in a napkin.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to actually take all of the Pocky and leave the studio. I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm just putting it outside. I don't want it anywhere because
Yeah.
if this is indeed a food allergy, you don't want to fuck with it.
yeah,
I'll be back.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Well,
I'm just gonna
we'll
take
BS for a couple minutes till you get back and make
Eric,
this
where do you want
work.
me to put this?
I don't care. Just out on the counter somewhere. Well,
Is he gone? Oh my God, that was an elaborate ruse just to get him out of here. Isn't
Yes.
Ryan the worst?
wow, Greg, I didn't know you were that hateful. I mean, we already
man.
had a full episode
Without him.
Without
I know.
him.
And the food was the best we've ever had.
It absolutely
I
was.
know. It was just
Yeah.
so great. Oh
There you
God,
go.
my
There-
throat is so closed. It is so miserable. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Hey, buddy, we're just talking about you. Glad you're back. Hey.
Yeah. All right. Well, at that point, I think we need to summarize this up and do it probably fairly quickly. Make sure Greg's okay. So, how did we like each food? I think the shrimp chips.
Shrimp chips were a winner.
Shrimp
winner.
chips were the best thing we had today.
Absolutely.
The Pocky nearly killed and may still kill Greg, so we've got to sort of throw that out.
Yeah, and the soy bean drink
That was
absolutely vile. And
an offense against God.
yeah, it was definitely upsetting to at least Ryan and I's stomachs. So, any final thoughts before we head out, Ryan?
Fuck that drink. Fuck it with 1,000 fucks. God. It's traumatizing.
Greg?
I'd eat more shrimp chips, but I will not be having more Pocky.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah, the shrimp chips are actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I think we may be fighting over the leftover shrimp chips.
But nobody's going to be fighting over the extra drinks or Pocky.
The other two are going away. Actually, I like the Pocky.
Take it.
I will. Yeah, I'll take them away. But I will keep them away from Greg for certain. Thank you everybody for joining us, and remember, until next time, eat, drink, and be merry.
Peace out.
Bye.